So learn to accept the praise. Learn to take it and use it as a self-motivator, that you are pretty good, that you are the star quarterback, that you are the playmaker, and that you can do this. So the other thing is action. All of this is about taking action, noticing the signs of self-talk, fixing it, practicing. I've never had to practice this, but I work with a lot of entrepreneurs who will take that worksheet that I ask you to do, and they will practice this for weeks and weeks and weeks to get in the habit of talking to themselves in a more positive way. Okay, I'm working with this young man right now who took over the business from his parents. And this is not, I can tell already, this is not what he wanted to do with his life. He's not a confident person. He doesn't really even like people. And this is a very out front people business. And he's going to struggle with this, and he's going to have to practice this. He's going to have to practice talking to people. He's going to have to practice the confidence to be out front and to be the leader, even with his staff. And so we're spending a lot of time on the way he talks to himself, the way he presents himself, the way he dresses, his appearance, everything, to work with him on his confidence. Because right now he's got a lack of confidence, and it's hurting the business already. So a lot of this is about practicing and getting in good habits, okay? So I want to talk about affirmations as an asset. And I'm going to talk about what I say to myself every day and kind of give you my routine as an example of what you can do to help yourself every day get in a better frame of mind. Okay? Now, I believe, like I said, that affirmations, when you write them down, and I had to actually get in the habit of this. I wasn't used to writing these things down. A lot of this is what I just said to myself on a daily basis, but I have gotten in a habit of writing them down and thinking about this a lot more. Part of this session is normally I work with people to do a personal mission statement. And we don't have time to do that today, but in your personal mission statement, this is, for me, part of some of your daily action to work on yourself, but we're not going to be able to get to that. So I want to talk about how affirmations can influence your mental state and the way that you're thinking, okay? So I had this high school coach, and he actually coached us through Little League and all the way through high school in football. And I can see Coach Staley to this very day, had a bald head. I can see the veins popping out of his head. During halftime, he was pacing up and down, saying, boys, if you don't expect to win, you're not going to win. You got to expect to win. And he would say, winners never quit and quitters never win. Until a few years ago, actually I quoted him in an article I wrote for Inc. And I thought that was a Coach Staley quote. Somebody actually wrote in to Inc. that day and said, that's not a Harold Staley quote, that's a Vince Lombardi quote. I didn't know that Coach Staley stole it from Vince Lombardi, so I was corrected on that. But I took that image and I took that, what he used to say to us, I took that to heart, and I internalized that, and I didn't really know that I had done that until I started thinking about these things a few years ago and writing. I started writing a column and then wrote a few books, and I've been thinking about this kind of thing for a while now. But I wake up every day and I talk to myself about how I expect to win and I'm going to win. And that's a pretty broad statement. But I expect to win and I expect to get that sale. I expect to get that contract. I expect, when I go into a meeting, I expect to get the outcome that I want. That's good for everybody. And that's just my mindset. So, and now I just believe it. And you got to believe that you deserve it. That's the other thing. Often people don't set high expectations because they don't have high expectations. And they don't want to be disappointed when they set high expectations and they don't meet those expectations. So they sell themselves short and they don't set high expectations because they don't think that they deserve it. Okay? So all I would ask you to do is feel like you deserve it, know that you deserve it, believe that you deserve it, and talk to yourself about that every morning. That's what gets me through the day, gets me through meetings. I don't have to pump myself up for those meetings anymore. I don't have to listen to Rocky. because my mindset is I'm going into that meeting, I'm going to win. Number two thing that I say to myself every morning is I don't care what people think. Okay. Now the fact is we do care what people think. Okay. But let me explain myself. I don't care what the wrong people think. We all have influences in our lives that influence what we do, what we say, what we do with our lives. If I had to listen to my influences, the negative influences, I never would have started my business, like I said. So that's kind of what I mean. Listen to the right people in your life. The people, as entrepreneurs, the people that support you. If you're part of a civic organization or a networking organization or a business association, people that are like-minded, that are trying to accomplish the same things that you're accomplishing, that are good influences, that understand what you're going through. And we all need those kind of people in our lives because entrepreneurship is pretty lonely, right? So we all need those people in our lives that can help us and that we can talk to, that are positive, and that's what I'm talking about. So the people in your life that are negative, don't listen to them. Tune that stuff out. The best man at my wedding, a godfather of one of my children, is one of these people I have to spend very limited time with. I love him to death. We grew up together. We'll always have that. But he is absolutely a drain on me mentally. And so I have to limit my time with him. Okay? And that's just for my own mental health. Because he completely messes with my head if I listen to him for very long. Sucks the energy right out of me. So, what I say to myself every morning is, I will not care what other people think. I'm going to do what I know I have to do. I'm going to do what I know is right. I'm going to follow my course that I've set for myself. I'm not going to veer from that path. Okay? Now, I have an awful case of ADD. And so this is one of my big personal ones. I know that I'm not going to accomplish everything that I want to accomplish today. Something's going to come up that's going to distract me, that's going to take me off my plan. But I am going to take one small step every day to accomplish my goals. I'm going to do things every day that get me towards my goals. Everything else doesn't matter. All those other distractions. Now, we have a busy life. We have, how many people I've got like 3 email accounts, I've got LinkedIn, I've got Facebook, I've got Twitter, I've got umpteen other things, social media things I have to follow to keep up with. We have, if I sit on Facebook for more than a few minutes, I'm down some rabbit hole, right? Next thing I know, I'm reading something about World War II or something that is just so irrelevant to what I need to get accomplished that day, right? How that stuff shows up on my feed, I have no idea. So I have to stay focused. And when we're really busy and we have so many distractions, what happens is we look for things to take our minds off of what we really have to get done. I think the average American spends 2 hours a day or so on social media. I think the average American spends 3 or 4 hours a day on TV. And how in the world are we supposed to get anything done? How are we supposed to get our dreams accomplished? How are we supposed to stay focused on our goals when we're worried about catching up on our latest TV series? I don't know about you guys as entrepreneurs, but I never had time to do that. So if you have time to do that, I want to talk to you because that's amazing. But we have to stay focused, and for me, I know that I have to say to myself every day, stay focused, stay focused, stay focused. The minute I walk in the office every morning, the questions start, the problems start coming my way, and by the time that day ends, I have got nothing done on my to-do list that I had to get done. And so I have to say every day, I have to close my door and say, don't you dare come in my office today. I had to, for a few years, I still do this occasionally, I had to leave the office once a week, right? I'd have to go sit in a coffee shop, and so people couldn't find me. I'd turn my phone off to get the things done that I couldn't get done while I was in the office. And amazing things happened. Actually, they started solving some of their own problems, which was a good result of that. When I wasn't around to solve the problem, they started taking ownership of things. But that's a whole nother discussion. So again, these are the three things that I say to myself every day. There are others that I say depending on what's going on in my life. But these are the three things that, for me, that keep me grounded and keep me focused every day on what I'm doing and what I have to get done that day. I want you to, when you make your list of self-talk, the things that you say to yourself, I also want you to start thinking about 3 or 4 things that you can say to yourself every morning. Now, I say this stuff to myself in the shower. This is the conversation I'm having with my head in the shower when I'm putting on my clothes, getting ready to go. When I have that private time in the morning, we all have that sort of few minutes of quiet private time when we're getting ready, we're getting going. And now that my kids are a little older, that I have a little bit more, thankfully. But we all have that little bit of time in the morning that we can talk to ourselves. And this is what I would suggest that you do. Write down 3 or 4 things that you can start having a conversation with yourself about. Okay, you know, when I'm saying this to myself, I'm actually going through my schedule in my head, thinking, okay, I don't really need to do that. That's going to be a time sink. I don't really need to do that. I'm reevaluating what I'm going to get done that day, so I can be focused on it and be ready to go. So, anyway, I'll stop there. All I would say is this is really vitally important. Self-talk is one step, I think, in terms of getting to a success mindset. The success mindset, to me, is what makes us accomplish what we want to accomplish. And this is a huge part of getting your head in the right place to accomplish your goals. So thank you very much. I'm happy to